The night had already begun its descent when James lit the campfire. Shadows stretched across the clearing, and the silence of nature seemed to lean in, listening for a confession that would change everything. The flames reflected in his eyes as he turned to Diep, his voice unsteady, his heart racing. "Diep," he whispered, "I don't just want to marry you. I want the world to know that you and little Nee are my family." My anchor. My reason for living. It was more than a proposal. It was a declaration. A golden evening. Earlier that day, the car had rumbled along a dirt road, carrying James, Diep, and Nee into the heart of the countryside. The late afternoon sun painted the horizon with strokes of amber and gold, the promise of twilight shimmering in the distance. Nee clapped her hands with delight at the thought of camping under the stars. For her, every moment with James and Diep felt like a grand adventure, each second filled with laughter and belonging she had never known before. When the car finally stopped, James unloaded a modest set of supplies: a tent, a portable stove, some fruit, and packets of instant noodles. Nothing extravagant, but imbued with tenderness. He handed Nee over to Diep's care while he searched for firewood. The little girl's curiosity was endless. "Auntie Diep, what color is this fruit? Red? Yellow? Orange?" Each innocent question was met with Diep's patient laughter, filling the air with a rare kind of lightness. Between spoonfuls of watermelon and grapes, Diep felt a calm she had not experienced in years. For once, the weight of life seemed far away, the fire's secret. Soon, the fire crackled to life, casting warmth into the growing night. Stars revealed themselves one by one, and a full moon spread its silver glow across the clearing. James returned, his arms full of branches, only to stop short. The sight of Diep cradling Nee as though she were her own daughter struck him deeply. Dinner was simple: noodles, fruit, and silly jokes, but it felt like a feast. The air carried the scent of wood smoke, the gentle rush of a nearby stream, and Nee's unrestrained laughter. For James, it was a portrait of family he longed to preserve forever. Later, with Nee asleep in Diep's arms, silence settled. Yet it was not heavy. James drew closer, the fire's glow dancing across his face. His eyes, fixed on Diep, carried both determination and vulnerability. "Diep," he asked softly, "do you know how long it has been since we met?" "6 months," she answered with a shy smile. 6 months. A brief span in the eyes of time, yet long enough for James to know she was the woman who had redefined his existence. Strong, hardworking, kind, and the only one capable of igniting his heart in a way he had never felt before. Taking her hand, he shed all hesitation. "I don't just want to date you. I want you to be my wife." I want the world to see you as my family. You and me, not just a marriage, but a home. His words struck her like a wave. Tears welled in her eyes, a mix of fear, hope, and astonishment. No one had ever offered her so much, not just love, but also a future, a belonging. I know you may not be ready, he pressed gently, but this isn't just desire. It's a decision. I want to protect you both, to give Nee what she's never had. You are my life. Diep leaned her head on his shoulder. She gave no verbal reply, but for James, that gesture was enough. It was the beginning of acceptance. Dawn of a new chapter. The night gave way to dawn. Golden light filtered through the thin canvas of the tent, waking them slowly. Nee stirred first, rubbing her eyes and calling softly for Diep. James greeted her with warmth, lifting her into his arms. Good morning, little one. Did you sleep well? She murmured, before wrapping her arms around his neck. Diep emerged soon after, her hair falling loose over her shoulders, her face still touched by the emotions of the night before. Their eyes met, and in the quiet between them lay the memory of whispered promises. Breakfast was simple: bread, fruit, and the comforting aroma of coffee brewed over the fire. Nee, as always, filled the air with stories, about falling stars, magical fruits, and fantastical adventures she claimed to have seen in her dreams. James listened with quiet joy, wishing such mornings would never end. On the drive back, determination grew within him. Gripping the steering wheel, he broke the silence. Diep, what I said last night, I meant every word. I don't want you to think it was just the heat of the moment. I want to make it official. For everyone to know, she bit her lip nervously. James, it's a huge decision. I'm afraid. Afraid of not being ready. Afraid of what your family will think. His eyes burned with conviction. My mother knows my heart. As for my father, I'll face him. What matters is that you and Nee are with me. The rest, I can handle. Her gaze softened as she looked at Nee sleeping peacefully in the backseat. James's steady strength, his quiet resolve, gave her a sense of safety she had never known. The promise of adoption. Back at her doorstep, James refused to leave right away. Holding her hand firmly, he spoke with renewed determination. Diep, give me the chance to prove this isn't just a dream. Let me stand with you when you begin Nee's adoption papers. I want her to grow up knowing she belongs, that she has a real family. Her eyes filled with tears again. Fear and joy clashed within her heart. Nee, half asleep, wrapped her arms around both of them, unaware she was sealing a vow of unity. James breathed deeply. I won't give up, Diep. I want the world to know you are my wife, and Nee is our daughter. That's the future I will build, with or without approval. Though Diep gave no immediate answer, the light in her eyes spoke volumes. A new phase of life had begun, the family trial. James knew he could not delay any longer. That same week, he resolved to face his parents. The memory of Diep's quiet tears by the campfire echoed in his mind, urging him forward. On a Sunday afternoon, his family gathered in the living room. His mother arranged flowers while his father, stern and unreadable, buried himself in a newspaper. Father, mother, James began, standing tall. I need to speak to you about something important. They looked up, sensing the gravity in his tone. He drew a breath. Since returning from abroad, my life has changed. I met Diep, and in 6 months she has become the most important person to me. Not only her, but Nee, a little girl abandoned by her family. We've cared for her together. Now I want to make it official. His father lowered the newspaper slowly. Silence thickened the air. James continued, unflinching. I've proposed to Diep. Though she hasn't given her final answer, my mind is made up. And more, I want to adopt Nee. I want her to have a surname, a home, a real life. I want the world to know Diep is my wife, and Nee is my daughter. His mother pressed a hand to her chest, visibly moved. His father's brows knit tightly. James, his father said gravely, do you understand what you're asking? Marriage itself is weighty. But adoption? A child without family, without known origins? What will people say? For once, James did not waver. Father, for the first time, I don't care what people think. I've spent years protecting this family's reputation. Now I want to protect my own happiness. His mother wiped a tear discreetly. She's a sweet child, and Diep is a good woman. But are you prepared to face the judgments, the gossip? I am, James answered firmly. Diep will not face the world alone anymore. Nee will never again fall asleep fearing abandonment. I will be their pillar. From now on, my life is with them. His father studied him in silence. Behind the sternness was a glimmer of reluctant respect. At last, he exhaled deeply. You've always been resolute, James. If this is your choice, I won't stop you. But understand, the responsibility is immense. Not just as a businessman, but as a husband and a father. Relief washed over James. His mother smiled through tears and embraced him. "If this is truly your heart's wish, then I will stand by you." That night, James left his parents' house with a lighter heart. He pictured Diep's face when she learned he had secured their blessing. He knew the road ahead would not be easy, but with Diep by his side, nothing could defeat him.